So now that you've learned how to sync up audio with the video from multiple cameras, now we're going to cut back and forth. Obviously, we don't want to just look at the student over here for the whole dialogue scene. We want to cut back and forth. How I'm going to suggest you start doing that is by looking or changing some of the footage to be a different color. So let's make the advisor green, which is forest. I wish they could just use real color names, but you know, at least there is a way to label them. So, and the reason why I'm having you do this will become clear in a second. Now I'm going to make friends with my little razor tool over here. And I'm going to play through and see when I want to cut here.
I understand I've been having trouble silently.
You and I both know.
Okay. Now I would like to bring my advisor on camera here. So I'm going to make a cut on my play bar in both the student and the advisor. And then I'm going to switch to my arrow key. This is when keyboard shortcuts will come in handy. So your keyboard shortcuts may be different from mine. I have mine set up for my personal taste. So now I'm going to move the advisor on top. Now let's watch what happened.
I understand I've been having trouble silently.
You and I both know this isn't a matter of settling in. You've displayed a significant lack of effort since you started here. This behavior...
Now I'd like to cut back to my student to see how he's reacting to the news. Keyboard shortcut B for me. Gonna make a double cut. Switch to keyboard shortcut A, which is my selection tool. And then I'm going to drag this back down. Now let's take a look.
I understand I've been having trouble silently.
You and I both know this isn't a matter of settling in. You've displayed a significant lack of effort since you started here. This behavior is only bound to get worse.
Perhaps if I get involved in some clubs on school, like...
Cool. So now we see that's how you cut back and forth. Whichever one is on top is going to be the one playing. That's why I change colors, because then by just looking at a snapshot, whichever color is on top is going to be the one playing. Obviously, this is not how you're going to start your project. Remember, the script here has some shots from part 1, and you have some instructions on the left. So I'm going to let you guys figure out how to do that and start the project. But you go on throughout the project and switch back and forth. Now, let's say I need to cut out a line of dialogue, which you'll have to do.
This behavior is only bound to get worse.
Perhaps if I get involved in some clubs on school, like, there's no telling...
So, let's just cut out that, even though that's not where it's supposed to be. Let's say I want to cut out that little bit. So I'm going to take my blade, I'm going to cut both of them. Make sure you're cutting out both the advisor as well and the student, because you want it to remain in sync. So let's
Perhaps
say...
if I get involved in some clubs on school, like...
Let's say I needed to cut out that little phrase over there. I'm going to cut in a low point in the waveform so I don't cut in the middle of him speaking. And again, I'm going to make my cuts in both of them. Switch back to my selection tool. I'm going to highlight both, delete both of those, and then I'm going to ripple delete there. Now, oh my goodness, my computer's a little slow. Oh dear, my computer is overheating a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't edit on my bed. So let's try that again and see what is happening here. I'm going to reduce the resolution. Maybe that will help it freak out a little bit less. Let's see.
This behavior is only bound to get worse.
There's no telling what that...
And as you guys may know, that's a jump cut. I hope you guys know that. We learned about that already. So to avoid a jump cut when I cut a piece of dialogue out, I have to change cameras at that point. So whenever I cut it out, whatever that cut point is, I've got to switch. So I got to bring her up top here. And
there's no telling what benefit I could get from the right kind of...
Jump cut avoided. So, a couple things to note in this project. Well, first of all, I want to show you what I just did. I reduced the resolution. This doesn't affect how it exports. It just designates processing power away from making the video play back at a good resolution. When you try to do multiple things at once, like I'm uploading a video to YouTube right now, so my computer is working pretty hard. And it's got this little effect running. But that's one way to designate processing power. Another thing to note with this assignment is that there are some mistakes. There are some 180-degree rule violations. You'll notice here that take 1 was shot a different way than take 2 of Mr. Student over here. Also, there's another 180-degree rule violation potential if you use part 1 in a specific way. But you wouldn't learn as much if I just told you what it was. So you have to go back, rewatch the 180-degree rule video if you need to, and you have to avoid crossing it in this project. Like I said, in the writing, it is your job as an editor to figure out how to fix the videographer's mistakes. Also, I know this is not probably the best acting you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes you just gotta ask friends to do stuff for free. I feel like they just asked their advisor to do this and told her it was okay to read off of the screen, and it really wasn't. But, kudos to her for being a good sport and volunteering. But you as an editor have to do the best you can. So following the emotion, you need to follow the emotion with your shots. Put whoever on camera who's showing emotion at that point to account for that, and also show some of the better acting while following the script. Lots and lots to think about here. So be aware of that. Don't break the 180-degree rule. That's how you cut back and forth. And do not just take sentences down one at a time. Don't do that. It's going to be a mess. So for example, let's say I want to open with my student over here. Well, we know he starts here.
I understand I've been having trouble silently, but...
And let's say I'm going to drag that down, and then I want to cut to her.
I understand I've been having trouble silently,
You and I both know this isn't a matter of settling in. You've displayed a significant lack.
And then drag it down like you did with your bottles assignment and do it that way. It is not going to work. Don't do that. No. Watch here.
I understand I've been having trouble silently, but...
You and I both know this isn't a matter of
A, it's going to be really hard to time it out. And B, look at these audio levels. Your audio is going to be a mess. You can move it up and down, and it's still...
I've been having trouble silently, but...
You and I both...
It's still just not going to work. Don't do that. Please, you need to use the one audio track. I know I am on a soapbox right now, but trust me, I know syncing can be a pain, and if you've never sunk audio before, it's going to be a bit challenging, but it will save you time and make your video a better quality in the long run. Also, I rarely use the word perfect in video editing because it's not a perfect art. It's not a perfect science. A lot of your opinion goes into it and things, and your personal taste while following the rules. This is one thing that has to be perfect. It is your syncing. Your audience member is not going to forgive their lips moving in a different time from the audio. Make sure that they are perfectly lined up to the frame. That's why I say use that frame by frame technique that I showed you in the last video, and that will help you. Cool. Well, get to editing this project. Make sure you read the assignment sheet and the rubric and follow the script and get that done. That's due on Sunday. Follow the rules. Let me know if you have questions. Good luck.